Hello and welcome to my brand new channel, Ask Ali Podcast. A few days ago, I started this podcast with Anchor.com and I got a great response from people. People started watching, asking questions, and this is a brand new podcast. One of the subscribers advised me to open up a YouTube channel with the same name, Ask Ali Podcast. So there it is, brand new channel, Ask Ali Podcast, and I'm asking for your support, comments, and please subscribe. This channel is about everyday life problems, small things that are all mixed up for you, and I'll try to kind of like unwind that for you and see if we can find some solutions. I speak about relationships, health, and social problems, habits, things that penalize people and punish people. I talk about that. So this podcast will be entirely dedicated to those topics and more topics that I will find out from you guys. If you ask me a question, there'll be a topic. I would love to have a podcast about that. So your contribution is going to be greatly appreciated. So stick to the channel, watch it, comment it, like it, and subscribe it. Let's go to the main podcast. Today, I picked up a random topic, and that is loneliness. If you really look around, we're all lonely people. We go to the parties, we have these hustle and bustle, lights, cameras, actions, music, rhythms, all that. In between there, somewhere in that spot, there's a loneliness that lives within us. I got it, you got it, and everybody else has it. Why? Because there's a disconnection within us that remains. Doesn't matter how big the parties are, how big the crowds are, how much closer we are into relationships with each other. There's a brief part of us, a minute inside dark circle within us that's called loneliness. So I hope you will share your loneliness on this channel. And loneliness is not necessarily a bad thing. It can be a good thing. Some people call it time to yourself. And some people are just plain out. They're just right out. Sad, lonely, miserable, depressed people. That's also loneliness. I'm going to talk about how we can cure the loneliness. Obviously, loneliness is very penalizing, punishing time of private time where we really suffer the loneliness, especially in United States. There's so many lonely people because the structure is not there. There is a great distance between people, even though people are together, married, in love, relationships, all that. And they're still lonely inside. The inside, suffering, lonely, something in there. It is there. If you don't know, just start thinking about your frustrations, disappointments, and discouragements that come from every direction to you. How you channel and process that leads you to loneliness. Or maybe you don't call it loneliness, because you name it something else. I'm just sad. Well, sad is one criteria of the loneliness. I'm depressed. Yes, that is the criteria of loneliness. So I'm going to briefly share some ways, the way people solve the loneliness or cure the loneliness and try to fix the loneliness. Up next, and I promise you, you're gonna like it. I figured we all have similar problems. Why? Because we are human beings. We have relationships, children, bad relationships, divorces, love, falling in love, falling out of love, all these things that invited me to think, and that thinking led me to open up this podcast named Ask Ali. Sometime in life, all you need is a small nudge, like, and you go to the next level. This is all about that. How do we solve the loneliness? How do we cure the loneliness? How do we fix the loneliness? Do you know any ways that you treat the loneliness yourself? Please share with me. But today I'm going to discuss that briefly with you guys. Many times, loneliness, since it's got so many criterias, people just can't pinpoint and can't put their finger on that. And I was able to just kind of investigate different things like depressions and sadness and disappointments, discouragements, all those things, hopelessness. And then it led me to believe that it's called loneliness. Under one ceiling, all that is covered, and that ceiling is loneliness. Through my talking to people and just looking at observations and studies and all those things, I figured we all have very different ways of dealing with loneliness. Many of us, we like to listen to loud music, like very loud music, maybe mixed with drinking, maybe mixed with smoking. Some people will just go to the parties, like big parties, crowds and loudness and music and lights and noise. And did you know that those noises and lights, they make you even lonelier? Because there's a time for those lights to shut off. And as soon as the lights, glitz and glamour shut off, your loneliness turns on. And we want to chase that again to get rid of the loneliness. Then I have some people, through my experience and interviews that I did with the people, there are some people, they will cure their loneliness by eating too much, or maybe eating some things that they shouldn't be eating late night, or just eating 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 11, 12 o'clock, because eating is a unique habit of a human being that is sort of led to believe happiness. And that just, what it does is it takes your attention away from that loneliness and you will be eating. Are you one of them? I was one time. Then I've seen some people, they cure their loneliness by maybe some skill, or maybe developing some skill, or maybe watching a movie, maybe learning to do something. That's also a way to deal with that. What I found is, with my lonely hours, I like to exercise. And that just becomes like a whole brand new companion to me. And by the time I'm done and tired, I can sleep better. And as I sleep, my loneliness sleeps with me. So many other things. And in the meantime, I've seen some people too, that some people will cure the loneliness because changing the boyfriends and girlfriends and husbands and marriages and over relationship, flipping relationship, having 2-3 relationship at the same time. So they can have that continuous feel of relationship and companionship. But again, you still have that loneliness in you. See, that's a pretty tough question to answer. And many times we don't even face it. We don't even realize it because we are trying to fix it from external factors. And those factors will never fix that because I've tried it. And the greatest thing I can tell you is, before I end this podcast, my greatest finding was, if you really want to cure your loneliness and sense of uselessness, then I will strongly invite you to find a greater purpose, a purpose that is larger than yourself. You find that, I promise you that this will cure your loneliness, because one of our unique elements that's embedded in us as a human being, we forget that we came down here to help each other. And helping each other is the greatest purpose of my life. And that fulfills me. That keeps my mind busy. And even when I'm by myself, I'm not lonely because I'm thinking about some goodness that I can create and bring it to you. So that's my way of fixing it. I will end the podcast on this thought. And I would like to have some comments from you. See if you can share some of the lonely hours that you have. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I will gladly get back with you. Please stay tuned. Watch these podcasts. I will be frequent on this channel and I will be coming with very different topics. And some of the topics will come from some of you guys. I invite you to do so. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching. Till next time, take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your loneliness, and don't be lonely. Find some purpose. God bless you. Thank you.